And Moscow is calling it a very dangerous move that undermines nuclear disarmament efforts. Senior Russian officials have slammed US President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw from a landmark arms control treaty. Trump says the US will pull out because Russia is violating the Cold War-era pact, something Moscow denies, as Philip Cherm reports.
Supporters say it sends a strong message to Russia. Critics say it tears up a 30-year-old peace agreement. President Trump's plan to pull out of the Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty has been condemned by several world leaders, but Trump said he had good reason to do it.
Russia has violated the agreement. They've been violating it for many years, and I don't know why President Obama didn't negotiate or pull out. And we're not going to let them violate a nuclear agreement and go out and do weapons, and we're not allowed to.
The INF, signed in 1987, banned all ground-launched medium-range missiles with a range of between 500 and 5,500 kilometers. Germany was quick to criticize the decision and urged the US to think carefully about the effects on Europe and the rest of the world. Russia's President Putin said he'd want an explanation from US National Security Advisor John Bolton, who's currently in Moscow. Among those most disappointed by the move is the former Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev, who signed the treaty.
I think that the most comprehensive opinion about the US exit from the treaty, which I share totally, was expressed by President Putin.
He added that it was a reversal of efforts to achieve nuclear disarmament. But President Trump's statement will not come as a surprise to President Putin, who last December warned that the US was trying to undermine the agreement.
When it comes to Europe, we're talking about offensive infrastructure being created there. And we're talking about the violation from the US side of the articles of the 1987 Intermediate-Range Nuclear Forces Treaty.
Russia denies violating the treaty, which was the first ever arms control agreement to eliminate an entire class of missiles. Philip Cherm, Euronews.
Well, for the latest reaction from Moscow, I'm joined now by our correspondent, Galina Polonskaya. Good morning to you, Galina. We've had in the last few moments from China. They're saying that they think the US is also wrong to pull out of this arms pact. The National Security Advisor is in Moscow. What can we expect from that?
John Bolton arrived yesterday in Moscow, and today he will meet with the Secretary of the Russian Security Council, Nikolai Patrushev, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sergei Lavrov. And tomorrow he's expected to meet with Vladimir Putin. Well, Putin's aide Yuri Ushakov said that all the range of the questions which are now in a miserable state will be discussed, and Putin's press secretary Dmitry Peskov made it clear Russia is not expecting any miracles from this visit. He said that all the attempts to establish the dialogue has been hitting the wall, and now ahead of the elections in the US nothing could really change. But he said that Moscow is expecting a signal from Bolton about maybe new second meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump.
And Galina, Trump has a habit of using strong pressure as a negotiating tool. How is that likely to go down with Putin?
Well, this strategy will not work with Vladimir Putin. That's what many pro-Kremlin analysts think. But fears about an unprecedented escalation are growing. And the Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said that Trump's move is seen here as an ultimatum. And he said that he is expecting Bolton to explain professionally what did Trump mean. And a senior Russian lawmaker, the head of the Russian upper house of parliament, Konstantin Kosachev, said that if the US decides to stop this treaty, it will be a catastrophe, that the US will be able to deploy its intermediate range forces in Baltic states, and Russia will give an immediate and very strong answer.
All right, thank you very much. Galina Polonskaya in Moscow there.